The Umbrella Academy is the latest addition of superheroes to Netflix's platform, and everybody seems to be enjoying the show. With the recent announcement that Netflix are cancelling all of their Marvel shows, and with them introducing their own new group of superheroes to the platform with the Umbrella Academy, I thought it would be a good idea to put the two sets of shows up against each other and find out which show reigns supreme. So, which one is better? Well, let's find out. Before I go ahead, make sure you go over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. So without further ado, I'm BrainPilot, and here is the Umbrella Academy versus the Defenders. Just to let you know, there will be spoilers. The characters. All of the characters in both TV shows are people that you have to form connections with. The shows are solely based around the characters, their powers, and the connection that you form with them. They're all heroes. And if there's no solid personality, and they're not that likable when they're supposed to be, then we have a problem. Let's start with number 1, Luther. Luther is the leader in the Umbrella Academy, and if I'm being honest, I don't feel as though he's the strongest leader that we've seen on screen. You see at points how he's conflicted and the struggle of being able to take the lead. If we look at the Defenders, then I'd most likely say that Daredevil is the one that everybody looks to and is the true natural leader. Even in his own show, he's the lead, obviously. In his own series, you see the confliction in what he's doing and being able to control the devil within him. But he always manages to rise above it and make the right decisions. This is something that I think makes Daredevil a stronger leader out of the pair. When it comes to acting ability, I think both Luther and Matt Murdock are performed in the best way possible. Albeit in slightly different styles, but I'd have to say that Charlie Cox takes this one, making Matt Murdock the better character. Number 4 was a character that was loved by many viewers in the Umbrella Academy. He was a hero that was entertaining to watch because he never really knew his potential, and always made the viewers laugh when he was on screen. I don't really feel as though we've seen a character like this in a superhero TV show before, and I thought it was a refreshing change to be able to see something like that. He's not your stereotypical hero, but the character development that Klaus had was immense, and it felt like you watched him every step of the way. Jessica Jones. Jess Jones is an interesting character when on screen. She's likable, but at the same time I find it quite difficult to form a connection with her. If I were to compare her to another character in the Umbrella Academy, I would most likely put her up against Diego. They are both quite dark characters, and they both have skills that enable them to be good at solving mysteries. Diego has the ability to be able to throw with pinpoint accuracy, and you see him at several points be quite cold towards the other characters and his family. However, between the two on screen, I would say that I prefer Diego's character, just down to the fact that I felt like I understood Diego's motives most of the time. Number 7 was essentially the hidden superhero throughout the whole of the Umbrella Academy. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't really a fan of her. It was extremely obvious that she was going to surpass her family and be more powerful than any of them could ever be. And that was the problem. For me, her story arc was just too obvious and she wasn't that interesting to watch. It just felt too cliché. Ellen Page's performance was good, but I just don't think her story was written that well. Iron Fist. When talking about Iron Fist, I would just say that there was a massive disconnect through the screen with the way that Netflix portrayed him. Iron Fist, in my eyes, is supposed to be this cool superhero that actually has great powers, but for me, it just wasn't executed strongly enough. Luke Cage. Luke Cage is the Luther type character in the Defenders by having super strength. Again, in this case, I would say that I connected more with Luther in the Umbrella Academy. There was something about Luke that I never really could get. When he first appeared in season 1 of Jessica Jones, even then, I wasn't really that big of a fan. Number 5. Number 5 is a character that is not like any of the Defenders or any of his family. He's a rude, obnoxious, know-it-all character that thinks that he's always right. But after seeing all of that, he's still a character that you like and enjoy watching when he's on screen. I think that this is down to the acting ability from the 15-year-old actor. His performance is great and you believe the character completely. You don't feel as though he's a boy acting, but he's actually an adult stuck in a kid's body just like his character. I'd say he's definitely one of the most likable characters in the show. He brings a lot to it, especially with his performance, and without him, it would most likely lose a lot of the humour that the show has. And he's definitely got the best power out of the Defenders and his family. Who wouldn't want to be able to travel through space and time? Finally, number 3. I like the portrayal of the character, however, I do feel as though her powers aren't really that great. I think all of the powers that the Defenders have top what she has. She's most definitely a character that you enjoy following and are gutted when she gets her throat slit, but I wouldn't place her above any of the Defenders. Overall, I would most likely say that I prefer the characters in the Umbrella Academy. As much as I love the Marvel heroes, the only character that I would place above all of the Umbrella Academy cast would be Daredevil. In the Marvel shows, you see your stereotypical superhero characters that we've got used to seeing. But I feel with the Umbrella Academy, we get a different set of powers and a different way that the characters are being presented to us. It's a family and we get to see the division between them and get to know a lot about the past and why they're actually doing what they're doing. Also, they have Pogo. The story. As great as the story in The Defenders is, I do feel as though what we see is fairly similar to all that we've seen in each of their own shows before. I know that they're essentially the TV version of the Avengers and it's the same universe, but I feel like by the time that the show came around, it all just felt a bit samey. The fact that the Hand were heavily involved and we had a lot of the characters from many of the shows, it just didn't feel like anything that special. And when a collective of characters come together, you're supposed to feel great watching all of the characters on screen, but with this show, it just didn't really give me that feeling. When watching the Umbrella Academy, it was an introduction to all of these characters, seeing as though we've never seen them before, and it was the chance to have a different story that isn't associated with any other heroes or set universe. This obviously allowed a lot of creative freedom. With the story in this show, there were several elements to it, and it was mainly focused around stopping the apocalypse that was set to hit Earth in a number of days. This was due to number 5 travelling back in time. This is something that I quite liked. It was a story that we've not seen before in a superhero TV show on the platform, and I enjoyed a show where the stakes were so high and affecting the entire world. Although one of the main parts of the story was focused around the apocalypse, I really enjoyed the way that the event brought the family together and you got to see just how hard it was for them to do that. It allowed you to see their relationships grow stronger and understand all about their past and move forward with them. I feel as though the story had a lot more to offer than what the Defenders did. I also thought it was great the way that it ended. The fact that they didn't actually save the day and complete what they wanted to. They didn't save the world. They failed. It suited the show style perfectly. Both of the shows are relatively dark and take you on 2 different paths of dark superhero stories. However, I would say that the Umbrella Academy's journey is more enjoyable with a collective of members that are more likable and also humorous. And like I said, the fact that they didn't even complete their objective made it all the better. I would say that the Umbrella Academy takes it on this one as well. Final thoughts. Overall, I would say that the Umbrella Academy is a great addition to the streaming platform and is most definitely better than the show The Defenders. In their own right, yes, the Marvel shows individually are extremely good and I loved watching them. Well, Daredevil and Jess Jones. However, as a collective, the Umbrella Academy brings so much more to the table. The way that it's shot is great on the eye. The completely different personalities in the family all contrast yet work at the same time. The fact that the powers that they have aren't thrown in your face 24/7 allows you to understand certain characters a lot more. And also, the light-hearted feel of the show, despite the fact that there is so much at stake, makes it a show that you feel relaxed watching, but when things develop, you know how serious it can be. It's good that we're getting a new take on superheroes, and it's opened another door for superheroes to go down. It's a shame that The Defenders has been cancelled, and it's even more of a shame that all of the solo Marvel shows got it as well. But if it means that we get the Umbrella Academy, then that softens the blow a bit. Ultimately, I would say that the Umbrella Academy wins over The Defenders. If you want to see what I've rated many TV shows and movies, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. Comment a movie and I'll rate it over there. Over on the community page, I've started releasing polls. Head over there and have your say in what videos you see next. As well, If you want to support the channel in a different way, then I've recently set up a Patreon. Over there, you can get your hands on some exclusive content. Take a look and see what you think. What show do you think is better out of the two? Do you agree with me? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.